morning. That's right. Good morning. Normally I do these videos at night because it's a little comfier. Plus I'm a night owl. But insomnia has wrecked my sleeping schedule for the past 2 weeks. This is the second day that I've actually gotten any rest whatsoever. So now that I'm feeling better, I can actually get back to my schedule and make some new videos. Last Friday, I was supposed to upload a video about Henry Longfellow, but I was just exhausted. Insomnia is horrific. If anyone has it in my audience, I feel you. This is not just me self-diagnosing myself. I've been to sleep clinics, yada, yada, yada. This is official. I have actual insomnia. So if you have it or you feel like you have symptoms of insomnia, please go to your doctor, get some medicine, and get some sleep. It really makes a world of a difference. My medication I was getting used to, got some new one. It's rough, but I'm getting some rest finally. With that being said, let's dive into Longfellow. Now, Longfellow is an interesting fellow. I was unfamiliar with him. I heard some people talk about him, but I never learned about him. I never read a single poem of his or any work of his, for that matter, in high school. Like my American literature class, we read The Kite Runner for some reason instead of actual American literature, interestingly enough. So part of Odyssey Unbound is me going through, I don't want to call it the Western canon, but my own personal canon. Because I have works that I will get into that are from Asia, such as the Book of Tea from Japan, some other Chinese works, some from Thailand as well. And, I also have works from the Middle East, like the poetry of the Sufis, like Rumi, or just works from like Khalil Gibran, which is one of my favorite poets. If none of you have ever read Khalil Gibran, I highly recommend it. His works helped me through a really dark time in my life. Very beautiful. They're not they don't have a standard rhyme scheme, but they're just elegant and just very beautiful, and they uplift your soul. Really, go read it. The Prophet is his most famous work, but he does have more than just that. If you ever wanted to do a deep dive, you can find most of his poetry online for free, so don't pass it up. But Longfellow, I just, part of my own personal canon is exploring authors and poets, essayists that I've never read before, and Longfellow is one of them. I'd never heard of this gentleman in high school. Like my American literature class, we read The Kite Runner, which is arguably, in my opinion, not part of the something that should be taught in American literature, but what's done is done. And in college, I mean, Whitman was discussed, of course, Emerson, Henry David Thoreau, but this guy was just never talked about. And it's kind of a shame. I understand to an extent, a lot of his poetry isn't what, like, you wouldn't devote a class to analyzing his poetry. I'm sure he does, like, one of his long works, like The Tale of Hiawatha or something like that, might deserve a deep analysis, but like in college courses I can understand. But still, regardless of that, his poetry is beautiful. It's very, what I would call fireplace poetry, where you would just sit and just read and just feel comfy and just feel uplifted. His poetry is beautiful. It's not whiny, it's not overly dramatic. It's very simple and just easy to read, and that's something I quite enjoy. Now, in a perfect world, I would do 2 videos about 2 of his poems that I particularly liked. Short ones, but I have to, this is borrowed from the library, so I have to return this this week, and I don't feel like making 2 videos on these 2 poems. So I'm only going to choose one. I was initially going to read his poem, The Goblet of Life, but I'm not feeling it. And this YouTube channel is not a job. So This is just personal exploration. So, I'm going to read instead a short poem of his called The Ladder of St. Augustine. Now, there's not much I can give for context for Longfellow. Maybe he was a Longfellow. I don't know his height, but he was a professor at, I believe, Harvard or one of the Ivy League schools. And he was one of the most famous poets in America. He made a lot of money from his poetry. He was very famous. Very, very prolific gentleman. And so today, I'm only going to read a short one. But you should go read him if you're ever in the need of just comfy poetry. Winter's coming up. I'm sure in my part of the country, it's hot outside. I'm sweating right now, actually. It's very uncomfortable. I do not like Louisiana. I've been born and raised here. I do not like it here. If you happen to live in one of those beautiful states that have autumn, like actual seasons, and the weather changes and it feels like Halloween when Halloween comes, bless you. Please, this would be perfect to read like in November or December at the fireplace if you have one. If not, make sure you just cozy up in a blanket and read some. It's very nice poetry. Very positive poetry, too. It's something that I quite enjoy. It's not whiny and nihilistic or just depraved of any morality, which is refreshing. So, with that being said, The Ladder of St. Augustine. St. Augustine, well hast thou said, that of our vices we can frame a ladder, if we will but shred beneath our feet each deed of shame. All common things, each day's events, that with the hour begin and end, our pleasures and our discontents, are rounds by which we may ascend. The low desire, the base design, that makes another's virtues less, the revel of the ruddy wine, and all occasions of excess, the longing for ignoble things, the strife for triumph more than truth, the hardening of the heart that brings irreverence for the dreams of youth. All thoughts of ill, all evil deeds, that have their root in thoughts of ill, whatever hinders or impedes the action of the nobler will. All these must first be trampled down beneath our feet, if we would gain, in the bright fields of fair renown, the right of eminent domain. We have not wings, we cannot soar, but we have feet to scale and climb by slow degrees, by more and more, the cloudy summits of our time. The mighty pyramids of stone that wedge like cleave the desert airs, when nearer seen and better known, are but gigantic flights of stairs. The distant mountains that uprear their solid bastions to the skies are crossed by pathways that appear as we to higher levels rise. The heights by great men reached and kept were not attained by sudden flight, but they, while their companions slept, were toiling upward in the night. Standing on what too long we bore, with shoulders bent and downcast eyes, we may discern, unseen before, a path to higher destinies. Nor deem the irrevocable past as wholly wasted, wholly vain, if, rising on its wrecks at last, to something nobler we attain. You know, I believe it was in my last video where I read William Butler Yeats and was talking about the center. And there's this misconception that just great men and women, individuals all across the world just spontaneously arise out of nothing. And it's just simply not true. These people toiled endlessly, day by day. It's a devotion. It's a surrender to a higher cause. And Longfellow is talking about this, that our vices are the means, if we understand what fuels our vices, what our own weaknesses are, we can master ourselves and to greater heights ascend. Now, does that mean that you need to run for president and change the world? No. Does that mean you need to be the greatest philosopher the world has ever known? No. Simply put, you don't need to be famous to be great. There are great people everywhere. In every region, known and unknown, there are great individuals. I've met them, you've met them, and you can be one. But all that requires is, like in every single video that I talk about, there's this overarching theme coming from the ancients up to the modern day. This greatness, this center that needs to hold is you and begins in you. And the way that you cultivate this greatness, this power, is through discipline, is through self-mastery. So just better yourself. It's very simple. I'm making it sound more complicated. The first poem I read from Longfellow, which is another video, beautify your life. It's as simple as that. By beautifying your life, you beautify yourself, you master yourself. It's just as simple as that. And it is a momentous action, meaning it's hard to begin. But even the smallest thing, one small action a day, can cultivate into that giant boulder that you can be rolling down the hill. So just begin with something small. It doesn't have to be complicated. Life really isn't that complicated. We make it more complicated. It's very simple. Not to live hedonistically when I say enjoy it, but enjoy it. There is empty joy and fulfilling joy. Live fulfillingly. Just live beautifully. And that's it. It can begin with you. You can be one of those great people. Don't think that you have to be making $1 million every year. They need to own 4 Bugattis, like some people say. That you need to be sleeping with X amount of people, that you need to make a certain amount of money a year, that you need to own 16 beach houses. No. That's not greatness, and I don't think there's a single person who's watching one of these videos of the 23 subscribers I have who are gonna go, you know what? I think you're wrong. I think owning 17 Bugattis is actually success. No one who's watching this, so I don't even know why I'm saying this, but just as a simple reminder, please just live beautifully. Just beautify yourself. Go spend time in nature. Have a good sleep schedule. Get sleep, not like me. And just enjoy your life. And again, it does not mean hedonistically enjoy your life. There is empty joy and fulfilling joy. Come on now. We all know that. If partying and doing exorbitant amounts of cocaine was fulfilling, they would do it only once. But they keep doing it. I really wish I could sometimes just like tell stories about things I've seen in New Orleans since I've worked and lived there most of my life. But that's not what this channel is about. Maybe that'll be for a future project. But for everyone who's watching, I hope you have a wonderful day. Remember, greatness begins with small actions, and it can begin in you. You can be great. You will be great, but it takes time. It takes effort, as with anything. Don't give up. Always look for the bright side. Always look for the wonderful things in life, and be sure to treasure beautiful things. Have a nice day.